Okay, we are in Shmuel Aleph. So please subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and hit the notification wherever they are, because that way you'll know whenever we give a class. Thank you. Okay, we are, like I said, 1910, and we're finishing off this thing. Saul was melancholy, so what does he do? Vayivake Shaul lahakot b'chani b'David u'vakir. So Saul he wants to. It's interesting. The word is vayivakesh, which means he requests. It's a sort of request. Bikesh, like bavakasha, when you say please. So vayivakesh, I don't know how they translate it, but it's vayivakesh is again requesting. He wants to do something, and he wants to hit David with the spear, and against the wall. Vayivtar mipnei Shaul. So David is on. He's aware that it's not a good situation, so he tries to escape from. Well, he escapes from before Shaul. V'yach erachani pekir, and the spear hits the wall. David nasim, David flees. Vayamalet b'laylahahu, and he saves himself on that particular night.
Is this the second time you tried to spear him?
Yes. Yes, the first time he tried to do it was before he declared his dislike for David.
Both when he was playing a harp, though. Both when he was playing his harp, or just only?
Yes, well, that'll be the time to do it, when David was playing his harp. But the harp playing would normally relax Shaul.
Should have taken up the flute.
He normally would relax Shaul, and so then it wouldn't. But that's the problem. So when you're melancholy, when you're depressed, again, it's not everything works every time. The drug has to be upped, I guess. So it's the Malbim says but he wanted to kill him with the spear. He did it on purpose. This time he really has intent to do it. And with David in the wall, David saw what was happening, so he went away. He went to his house, that's what he was trying to do. And so the spear hits the wall instead of David. Masha Enkim Pam Ha'echa, which is not the first case. When the first time he did it, Shanasa Mipanav Taramika, because David just moved before it hit. That was just what you call happenstance, right? David ducked at the right time, and the spear hit. But this time, David is aware of what's going on, so he decides he's going. The better part of valor is to escape.
It's a bit of a pattern already.
Well, yeah.
It's a bit of a pattern.
Right. So he knows already. So now he goes to his house. He escapes to his house, as it were. Again, I'm not sure what the English words would be for that, but that's the intent in the Hebrew. So next, Vayishlach Shaul Malachim. So now Shaul sends messengers El Beit David, to the house of David, L'Shamro, to guard him, Ulahamito Baboka, and to kill him in the morning. But Tagei David, and it was told. David Michal, Ishto, and Michal, his wife, told David, Lemor, saying, Im eincha mimalet et nafshecha halala, if you do not save your soul tonight, machar, tomorrow, atab mumat, you will be killed. So the daughter of the king, is now telling her husband, you're in major trouble here. We have guards coming. They're going to kill you tomorrow morning. Why they didn't kill him that night is an interesting situation. I mean, you would have thought, kill him that night. Leave me alone. What are you waiting for the morning for? So what happens is, Malbim says, he sent messengers, Al Yedei Cain, and through this, Matzalav Alila, Ladono, and through this he was finding a complaint to levy against him to judge him. Morid b'malchut, because he said he's in rebellion of the king. Why? Al shenifter mimenu below reshuto, because he left the king without permission. You can't leave your general without permission. You have to ask for permission to leave. So since he doesn't ask him for permission, he just walks away, saving his life. So now Shaul says, so you're in open rebellion of the kingdom.
Otherwise AWOL, right?
Otherwise known as AWOL. So now we can kill you. Okay? Ulaman hi yelo kasude nayim, and in order that it would be a covering up of the eyes, as it were, shaharag bedin shalot techilib malachim v'shamro shalach techilib malachim v'shamro. So in order that he would not be considered as if it was just a revenge killing, so he sends the guards to guard him. And this would even be a greater incident. Because if he would have killed them immediately through these messengers, Yomru, Kihargu below Dim Mishpat, they would have said that he killed him without due process of law. And if he didn't send him to guard him, what we call house arrest. Rather, he just sent them to bring him in the morning. They would have said, surely he didn't run before the king. Because here he was, he went to his house. He didn't run away at night, so it's clearly not running away from the king. He's not morid b'malchut. He's not rebelling against the king. Therefore, shalach l'shamro. That's why he sends the messengers to guard him. In other words, place him under house arrest. We call halayla the entire night the man yomar. So in order that in order that he could say ki lechein lo barach mi beito. That's why he didn't run from his house. Ki akvuhu hashomrim, because the guards were stopping him. Okay. Let me just finish. V'gam chashav ulay yamod neged hashomrim v'hidamo barosho. And also he considered, let's say he would get up and decide he's going to take on the shomrim, the guards. Well, then his blood's on his head. The guards against him. If they take him down, that's it. He was trying to resist arrest. Okay, so here's what happens. In plain English, what happens is David escapes, goes to his home. Now, Shaul is in a problem area. How am I going to get this guy? Okay, what I'll do, if I get him in the morning, so people are going to say he got him in the morning. He certainly wasn't in rebellion. Because if he was in rebellion, he would have run away. He wouldn't have just gone home. Okay, that's clearly not true. So therefore, Saul says, okay, what I'll do is I'll send guards. I'll place him under house arrest. And as house arrest, that's then when people say, why didn't he run? Well, he's under house arrest. But he still left without permission. Therefore, he's obligated to die. Yeah. Period. We'll have due process of law. It's what we call in America a kangaroo court, right? Or even more, Balamea Baladea, the one who has the gold makes the rules, golden rules. The one who has the gold makes the rules. Okay, that's what's going on, fine. So, but he has to cover himself up. So he has to say, okay, so I sent the guards. They put him under house arrest. If he tries to escape, so then he'll be killed. Then it's on him. It's not on me. It doesn't matter to me.
They're not doing anything to him. They're just
guarding the house.
Outside of the house.
That's it.
You're not molesting him at all.
No, you can't leave. So that's placed under house arrest. Yeah. You're under house arrest, which means you're guilty. It's now we're just waiting. That's why he didn't run.
Now, at that point, nobody has to know, from the king's point of view, nobody has to know what else is going on and why the king is doing that. But they see the house is being guarded. If he tries to escape,
right. Well, that's the orders.
Yeah.
Shoot on sight. Yeah.
This is verse 11.
That was verse 11.
Back in verse 2, Saul's son Jonathan told David, "My father's trying to kill you.
All right.
Find the secret place and go hide."
All right.
And the truth is, between 10 and 11, it never says that David went to his own house. It says simply that he escaped. It was Saul who sent the watchman to the house. It doesn't say David was in it. He was told to get out of there 9 verses earlier.
No.
Why?
You missed something. If you go to you said 2 and 3, you were correct on 2 and 3, where he says that. But then what happens is, Jonathan talks to his father, Saul, and makes peace with Saul on David's behalf. And so that's what he says to David, everything's cool again. You can go back to my pad. That's on verse 7.
Yeah, all right, I see that.
Okay, so he says you can go back. So David says, okay, I can go back. So
but
that
10 doesn't say go back
wait.
home. Go back.
No,
home.
go back to my father. Everything's good with my father. He likes you now. I told him that everything's good.
Yeah.
And so he said, everything's good. So you can go back to my father, and no problem. And so David does that. And then he goes back. Everything's good for a little while. Then, verse 9, so once again, Saul gets his melancholy situation.
This was a long time. Verse 8, they went out and fought a war again.
Right. So but that was after
the talk.
After the talk. So David is good.
Yeah.
So now he comes to verse 9. You have a problem again. Verse 10, he runs away.
Yeah.
Doesn't say where he ran away. You're right. But we know from verse 11, he ran home. Because that's what Saul does. He sends the guards to his home.
Assuming David was in it.
Well,
To watch him.
to watch him.
Oh.
How did he know he was in it? How did
Okay,
he know he
yeah,
was
just
home?
Because he
fled.
had no reason to go anywhere else. He
Just
knew
said he
David wasn't
fled,
running
yeah.
it away.
Well, this was the second attempt on his
Doesn't
life.
matter. He knows he's running. He
Wait a minute,
knows.
but yeah, but the verse that he's talking to is his wife is talking to him.
No, he knows that he went home.
So he must be home.
Again, David doesn't want to say anything bad about. David doesn't want to air the dirty laundry. Okay, that's up to Saul to make the dirty laundry. So he goes home, and I'm sure that when he got home, he must have said to his wife. I don't even know if he said anything to his wife. Who knows? Maybe he doesn't want to talk to his wife about it either. Although I would assume the wife knows what's
She
going
knows
on.
something. Is she-
No, now she knows. She knows that they're going to kill you.
She must have seen the guards.
Right. So, that's what it says. That, if you don't save yourself tonight, you're in trouble. So either she knows from Yonatan, or she knows from the guards, or she knows from her father. Somehow she knows. I'm not sure how she knows. We don't understand how. You don't have to understand how everything goes on here. But you assume that somebody's talking to somebody. So, again. But he was clear that he went home. Maybe he had people looking to see where he went. I'm not sure. But again, those you don't have a movie in front of you. You have verses. So you have to put them together and say, this is what happened. And this is how he did it. He could have been guessing, but it wouldn't be a good guess. I mean, if David's running away, so that, by the way, if David really did run away, so then he would really be in rebellion of the king. And that would be open season on him. No question. Okay, so he has to protect himself. I just went home. I want my wife, your daughter. Or am I the princess?
Maybe the reason he went home was that he figured Saul would get over his melancholy or something.
Well, he was
"Let's
hoping.
go home,"
He was hoping. I mean, what do you do when your father-in-law yells at you? You go, yes. You get over that too. I'll give you a call next week. Okay. By the time you should be cool. Your mother-in-law yells at you. It's the in-laws. That's the point. They're in-laws. They're what we call today outlaws. But. The beautiful thing about an in-law, I hope that my in-laws aren't watching, but it's, let's face it, the beautiful thing about in-laws or being a grandparent is you say, bye, I'll see you next time.
Yeah. Far away.
Right. Yeah. You don't, I don't change the baby's diapers, and I don't have to listen to the yelling. It was interesting. I used to ask my parents when they would hear my siblings and their wives, or whatever, the spouse, having a bit of a discussion. And so I said to my parents, why don't you say something? My father, may he rest in peace. And my mother agreed, may she rest in peace. They should both rest in peace. Okay. So they said, why would I get involved and potentially lose my grandchildren?
Yeah.
You don't get involved in marital relations. And we learned that, by the way, on Tuesday.
Yeah.
With Reuven. You don't get involved in marital relations. So just let the two fight it out, do what they have to do. That's their business. But as in-laws or outlaws, however you want to look at that, or as grandparents, you don't get involved. You just let it go. You can give your advice, but then you walk away. That's it. If you want to be so bold as to give your advice, I think that's a bad mistake that people do too. By the way, my father, when he would want to give advice, would speak to the child. In other words, my brother or my sister. Never, ever to the outsider. Never. Because it wasn't worth it to him. It just wasn't worth it. He could deal with his kids, but anybody else he wouldn't want to. So he's also, David is figuring, okay, so my father-in-law has his bouts with, again, we would call manic depressive, bipolar situation. He's a bipolar guy. So he didn't take his drugs today. Okay, get them to be on his drugs. Apparently my harp playing isn't working, or he doesn't like it anymore, whatever the kid's going to be. But if I let him relax, he'll go back to normal. Could be that simple. So he goes home. Okay. Again, I'm not running. I'm here. But that's what happens. Okay. So V'tored Michal et David be'ad hachalon. So here, Michal helps her husband. She lowers him, gets him through through the window. V'yelech, v'yivrach, v'yamalet. 3 verbs in a row. It's amazing. And he went, and he fled, and he saved himself.
Yeah, left, fled, and escaped.
Right. So, so that's it's very clear what she's doing. She wants to save her husband. Obviously, she loves her husband, and it says, why the window? So the Radak picks on this. He says, why the window? Ki derech hapetach lo yichal tzeit. Because she couldn't go out the front door. Why? Because the guards are there. So there you also have on the other side of the window, the Shomrim would not see him. When he went down from the window, when she lowered him from the window, and the Drash says, Ve'ech Baruch David. So how could David have run? So Rav Avo said, Shnei Sha'arim Hayulo lebeit shel David. There were 2 gates apparently that around David's house. One small and one large and one small. And the guards only were guarding the big gate. But he went out the small gate. But Ravi Avan Amar Sha'ar Echad Levad. Ravi Avan said, no, there was only one gate. V'yamdu lahem al Sha'ar Ma. And they were stationed by the gate. So what did Michal do? She lowered him through the window. Okay. So either there's 2 gates and they're only guarding one gate and not the other because people only go out the big gate, not the small gate. Or there's only one gate, and that's why she lowers him through the window, which would mean that the wall that, like in the case of Rachav, if you go back to the story of Shoftim, the story of Rachav, the Zona, again, however you're going to look at Zona, either prostitute or the innkeeper. I'll give you the choices that the rabbis give us. But where she lowers Kalev and Pinchas through the window, and which was on the wall. Okay, so that's why.
It's a good place for a window.
No, on the wall. On the wall of the city. Now, the houses were built. The houses would become the wall of the city.
Right.
So when you lower them over the wall windows, you're lowered onto the
brownstone houses, almost like right next to each other.
right. So now you're outside of the property. You're outside the wall. So that's not a normal way to go out. Who would think you're going to go out? And by the way, she was right with this because he is a great military leader. A great military leader does not normally jump out the window like a thief in the night. He would go out and it's a good day to die sort of thing, right? You wouldn't expect General Patton to go through the window like he's trying to escape, his wife. To go through the window so the wife doesn't catch him playing with somebody else. You wouldn't expect that. You expect that he goes out, I'm a man, leave me alone. Okay. So here he would have, and you would expect that he could have gone to the guards and said, what's going on, guys? We fought together over the years. What's happening? So all these things you would have thought he could do. No, he goes out the other way, and he walks out. By the way, I want to the sense of the Hebrew words, vayelech, and he went. Vayivrach, and he fled. Vayamaleit, and he was saved himself. Okay, so it's increasing the intensity of the language. Intensity of the language is increasing here.
Like we came, we saw, we conquered.
Right. So it's an interesting 3 words that they're using, all major hitters here. Again, you're starting off with the simple, then you go running and saving yourself. Vadikach Michal at Terafim. So Michal took the Terafim. Now, what are Terafim? Normally, Terafim are little idols.
This says mannequins.
Mannequins, fine. Okay.
He didn't translate it here.
But he said Terafim. Okay. Vatasem el Hamita, and she put. It should say put them, but it says put it to the bed. We had kivar ha'izim, and also the skin from goat skin, a covering. That's what it was. Some of Mershatav, she put that over his head the Terafim's head. And she covered it with a with clothes, with a cloth. Yeah.
For the previous.
Sorry? Yeah.
I was saying for the previous thing, 3 different verbs.
Yes.
Like he went, fled, and then saved himself.
Yeah.
So if you think about it logically, if you're trying to escape from somebody, and it's presumably it's in the capital of whatever city they're at, but what's the thing? Oh right, you don't immediately start running. You look like you're just walking somewhere. So if they see somebody running, oh, that's probably the person we're after. So you
Probably what?
when
When you see somebody running?
Running, you think they're running from something, and if you're looking for somebody who's an outlaw, the person who's running is probably the person we're after.
So you want to say it was a way, you want to say that the fact that he walked, ran, and saved himself was a normal way because he didn't want people to become aware that he's running.
Right, or the descriptive way of saying it.
It's very nice. Nonchalant. Okay, I accept that. Beautiful. Very nice. It's a good way of looking at it. Okay, so like I said, we have this this mannequin, if you will. A teraphim is interesting because teraphim is, Rashi says, is made like a form of a man. Teraphim are apparently different things for different people. Because teraphim, if you go back to Genesis, so one of the teraphim is a way of keeping time. Right? If you, that was a name for this timekeeping device, because when Rachel took the teraphim from her father Lavan, it was certainly a type of idol worship, but the way they described it was a way to keep time, something to keep time. And so teraphim apparently can be all over the place. The word teraf can also be, it's not just one thing every time, which is why Rashi and others will have to identify this as a mannequin, or they don't identify it in that book. They just say a teraphim. It's obviously some, and why, and the question is, if it's an idol, why would it be in Michal's possession?
Is there any sense there of having mixed singular and plural? Because in this, the translation says, she took the mannequins and placed them in the bed, and she put a goatskin at its head and covered it with a cloth. All of a sudden, two became one.
No, Ma'ara Shotav is its plural.
It's also a word that's plural only, so it has a singular. If you want a singular, you have to use the plural.
With which? How?
With the teraphim. It's only plural.
It's like Elohim, which is a plural word, but
and I looked it up in a couple of dictionaries, and it's like the Greek and the Roman Penates. It's a family god, a family figure, and it's one of the ones, like if you go to start a new family, you take that with you to start your new household.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so this would be her personal.
Well, that's
idol.
Okay. So that's the problem. So that's the big problem. Michal can't have an idol because she's. It wouldn't be. First of all.
Do you mean in the sense of an idol that they worshipped it, or was it simply for good luck? Or it doesn't matter.
Either way, it wouldn't be acceptable because it's considered idolatry. So if you hold that it's an idolatrous sort of thing, so then you have a problem saying that she had it in the house. She can't have it. So that's why other people would say it's just a mannequin. That's why I think you translated mannequin. So it was just something that she had, like women, Orthodox women, or anybody who has a wig, but mostly Orthodox women will have the head. What's it called?
Head. Yeah.
The foam head in their house.
Yeah.
So they can put the wig on it, right? So they put the wig on it because you have to keep the form of the wig. Okay, so if you're going to have that, so you might as well have, if you're a tailor, so you have the whole mannequin, so you can fit the clothes on the mannequin.
But very much like an Amish doll that also has no facial features, that head for the wig has no eyes, nose, and mouth.
Right.
It's just a shape.
It's a shape.
It's not.
Okay, fine. But the point is that if I'm going to put in my bed, I don't have to have the face. I don't have to have the whole face here. I just have to cover it with the hair, and that's it. But that is more. You'd have to look at the teraphim more like that in this connotation than to say it was an actual idol, because that would not make sense.
Yeah.
That it could, and that again is why when it comes to Lavan, it wouldn't make sense that he had Yet people are saying it is because he was an idol worshiper, but it doesn't. So then you have to ask, so why would Rachel take it? Why would Rachel take it? And so Rashi says to keep her father away from idolatry, fine, but still in all, how could she take it into Yaakov's house? You know, so what you're trying to do? So burn it. Do what you have to do. You know, you don't take it with you. But that's those are all the questions that go into it. The Marikra also deals with it. He says when it comes to Trophim, he says Mefarish, he's explained already in Levan what these things are, and he says Vatema Kimala Eitzal Trophim. What does she have to do with Trophim? It certainly wasn't because she believed in stuff. Maybe you want to say she asked for it, as it says, and so she asked somebody else for the trophim in order to save her husband, and so on and so forth. So that's how they want to look at it. And they says, Yesh lahavin shayu mastirim imena eitzet rashla to galet ozen bala, that she didn't want to tell her husband what was going on. Okay. So that would be all the ways you can get around it. Either it's just a mannequin like the tailors would use, and she's not, or she borrowed it because she wanted to save her husband, so she decided to bring it in. Whatever the case is going to be, but she takes this. So now the Malbim says, and that way she could tell her to the Malachim, the messengers, he's sick. My husband is sick. He has a tummy ache, I guess. He's sick. And that way she could hold the thing back. And that way he would have time to escape, to distance himself further. So here they're trying to say, where's David? Where's David? He doesn't feel good. He has a little tummy ache. He has a headache, a migraine stomach. So he's in bed right now. He's covering himself over. You have to have compassion for my husband. He's a good boy. Okay. Yeah.
I think it was a Derech Hashem class. It might have been.
Could have been.
That might have been the Days of Heart, but regardless, one of the subjects was like the Shefa, like the spiritual energy.
Yes.
That people would use and they would channel it through objects, and they would start worshiping the objects from the very beginning.
Right.
After God banished Eden and Eve, Adam and Eve. Were those items Shefa? Or this?
A trophim, it depends. Did they have the Shefa of Hashem?
Right.
So the answer is, in general, that these objects that people used did not have any spiritual influence from God. That's the Shefa we're talking about. In general, it was just the hand is quicker than the eye, whatever the expression is, right? Where it was all just, I'm going to confuse you. I'm going to make it look like this. And if I can do it enough, then great. I always say about the weathermen, I joke around the VA Sheker with their trophim, with their instruments to see the future. With all their computers, they can't figure out if it's going to be raining, snowing. I still love when Mayor Pete, I always get his last name wrong, so I'll leave it to Mayor Pete, okay, running for president, going on to all these talk shows, said that we had the 1,000-year storm here, that for 1,000 years we didn't have a storm like we had recently.
The vortex.
When we had the flood.
The flood.
The Great Twickenham flood.
Yeah.
When we turned the Twickenham into a river.
Yeah.
He said, for 1,000 years, and I was thinking, Pete, man, we don't have records for 1,000 years, pal. Sorry, it doesn't exist. But if I extrapolate back, I guess I could do whatever I want with mathematics. Or if I'm running for president, you can lie all day long. It doesn't really matter. That's what they do. But it's they just keep lying, and then we have to have fact checkers. I wish they would have had a fact checker that we haven't kept records. I wish, but they don't do it this fast. They have to wait till he gets up somewhere to make stupid remarks like that. But
maybe the Potawatomi Indians have records.
They don't have, not for 1,000 years. I'm sorry. They don't have
more taxes.
Right. And by the way, if it's the worst, I will even go further. If it's the worst one in 1,000 years, it means 1,000 years we have the same stupidity going on. So what are you talking about global warming? Leave me alone. If you ever had a record of that, So then you can't argue climate change that we're doing, because what we're doing.
Another 1,000.
Right, then we'll go for another 1,000. You can't have it both ways. So, but nonetheless, that's what I would. So Trophim again. Trophim via that explanation, instruments, or I tell the future. Either way, it's not the divine shefa. The divine shefa, the divine influence of Hashem, comes through some people. They used to tell the people of ESP. Okay, is it real? Is it not? Blah blah blah. So people, the Ramban talks about that. There are actually people who can tell the future, and they're real. They have this. They have this ability from Hashem. Nobody knows why, but they have it. Okay, but that would be a shefa. But it wouldn't go through these instruments. Absolutely not. But there is something called what we would call magic. There 100% is magic. We call that, and what we do is today's magic is tomorrow's science. Sooner or later we'll figure out how it's happening, and that won't call it science because we can explain it. That's the only difference between magic and science. Right. Science, I can explain. Magic, it looks, whoa, how do you do that? What?
And we can reproduce
Correct.
it. Doing the same thing.
Correct. Yes, 100%. Once I can do that, that's become science. Okay. Well, until then, if I don't know how it's working, it's magic. That's all. It's the only difference. Okay. But so now is that chef? Is it not? I don't know.
I just remember
No, it's a good connection. You're making a good connection with it.
Like they would worship items because they would channel the items.
Well, they thought.
They were thinking to themselves or whatever they were connecting
Right.
to the chef, and then they look at the item instead and say that's because.
Right. They would think that if they look to that Taurus a bull. So if they would look at, I'm talking Taurus, a constellation. So now they make a bull, and they think that bull can channel their energies through that to Taurus, this constellation, and to pull down those influences. That's true. But again, it wasn't. It was all falsehood.
Right.
All based upon falsehood and all based upon misunderstanding. It would be as much as if I don't want it to rain, I walk out with an umbrella. Because when I walk out with an umbrella, it's certainly not going to rain.
Well, what if you got your car washed? If you got your car washed, it will rain.
Oh, there you go. Same sort of thing. If I get my car washed, so even though it's sun in the sky, it's going to rain 5 minutes later. Right? That's what people think. Or if a black cat crosses my path, or if I walk under a ladder, no, I break the mirror. All these stupidities that people have. They've come up with everything in order, and they say, well, that is what's going to be. And what is that really? Self-fulfilling prophecies. If I believe that if I crack the mirror, then I'm going to have 7 years of bad luck. Well, guess what? I will. I learned something interesting on the internet. I love internet stupidities. I just do. That's so great. I'm not stupid. I hope everybody watches this because they like Torah. But the best thing was Robert Kiyosaki said, "Why are people poor? Why? It's because all attitude. If I say I cannot afford it, I will always be a poor person. If I say how can I afford it, I will be a rich person. What's the difference between the two? I can't afford it means I'm closed off. It's done. There's no way to go after that.
Well, there are choices. You can't afford this, but you can afford
No. He says once you say you cannot afford it, you've closed your mind to it. I can't afford it. So that's it. As opposed to how can I afford it? Now I open my mind to possibilities. He said that's the difference. Just a simple word. Can't versus how. That's the difference between the rich and the poor. The poor will always say, I can't afford it. So they close themselves off. They don't even think about what the possibilities are, the amazing possibilities. The rich person will always say, how can I do this? So he opens his mind. He allows his mind to see, well, it's possible. So how can I make this happen? Like I said, I learned that. It's amazing when you listen to these little things from 10 minutes, the philosophy that comes out of it. And they don't even appreciate the philosophy, but it's an interesting philosophy. But so, whatever the case is going to be. Okay? Managing resources. Let's continue. We still have time. Great. So it says, so she, like I said, she puts this mannequin in the bed. She puts the hair on top, the goat hair on top, so it should look like hair. I guess it was black. I'm assuming that his hair was black at that point. Oh no, he's ready. He's a redhead.
Oh.
So
Are they reddish goats?
the reddish goat, I guess. Well, they have reddish. It is reddish.
It was night, the lights were off.
Well, it's going to be in the morning. And they only guard it until they come in the morning. So Vayishlach Shaul Malachim L'Kach David. So now David sends messengers to take David, but Tomer, and she said, Cholahu. He's a little Berachel. He's a sick boy. Okay, what can you do? And so the question of Ken is, what do you mean you sent them? Just tell the guy who's going in the night, from the night, who guarded the house. Just going to get the guy. What are you sending more people? So
how do we know what that means? I mean, maybe it's referring to the
let's see.
Oh.
Let's see. The Malbim says, "Kipikuda Rishonim lohaita rak l'shamrom." So the Malbim asks a question. He said, the original people that he sent, their only job was to guard. V'gam chashav im yushu lekachto yamod negdam. And so he also thought that if they want to take him, he may stand up opposite them. Mitzad zeh yichav mita bedin, and again, once again, so he would be obligated to die. So he's yeah. Go ahead.
Are you sure? Finish your thought.
That was my thought. Yeah.
There's two words here because half of what I read backwards.
Yeah.
The first time at the beginning of 11, Saul sent messengers, right?
Yep.
Now, at the beginning of 15, he's now sending agents.
It's the same word.
It's the same Hebrew word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then why on earth do they translate it?
I can't.
It's the same Hebrew word?
They're interpreting.
Angels too.
No, it's not. But this is messengers.
Maybe
why
to differentiate them.
Why Arshkol decided to change the word? I cannot say. I can't answer.
It's the same exact word.
Same exact word.
We get an insight into Saul's mental state. This next line, he sends a messenger. He's sick, so they come back and we couldn't bring him because he's sick in his bed. We'll bring him in the bed.
All right, so that's okay. That's 15.
Wait. There's I think Steve skipped ahead to the 15. The 15 it says.
Well, you didn't get to yet.
Okay. So there's a difference there.
Okay. There's no difference in English in Hebrew. So Vayishlach Shaul let malachim the road had David lemor. So Shaul sent the malachim the messengers to see David, saying, "Hey alu otobamita ela hamito." So bring him up in his bed to me to kill him. I don't care. He's sick.
Bring the whole bed.
So in 14 it says malachim. Here it says ha malachim.
No, that's just agents or the agents.
The. So
you want to say why it says the?
Yeah. So that's indicate maybe these are different.
Well, no, it says the agents. In other words, that we were referred to up above in 14. In 14 he sent them, and in 15 he refers back to them.
There must be somebody must make a comment. They must be trying to differentiate.
Well, again, the second set. So that's where the Malbim said that he sent. The first one was just to guard. The second ones he was sending new people.
In 14, did you comment on 14 that these
14.
are different? These are different.
Yeah.
Malachim already than the
Correct.
ones that were guarding. Maybe their shift was over. You got to send 2 more people.
Well, you're assuming it's 2. It's probably a whole. It's probably a whole.
And the ones that were guarding all night. So how do they know that they're supposed to go inside and take them?
Right. No, that's what it says. So that's what the Malbim's saying. There's 2 groups. So then he says, okay. So they went. So David sends his malachim to see David. So what does that mean? She'im enocholeh. That if he's not sick, who mored? So he's in rebellion. Because he's acting sick. He wants a sick day when he's not sick. He's into open rebellion. 1 second. But if he really is sick, love. So then bring him up. Because then he won't be able to run away. Because his sickness is preventing him. However, it's going to be bring him up in the bed to me so I can kill him. Okay, either way,
take the whole bed.
Take the whole bed. I'm taking him out because he's still worried. But Malchut, I don't really care. He left me high and dry. He shouldn't have left me. Yeah.
2 people in history did the same thing.
Okay.
Sherlock Holmes and Ferris Bueller.
I don't think they're real people, but go ahead.
They are real. Well,
Ferris Bueller, surely not.
They didn't have to, that you fake out somebody that there's a body in the bed doesn't have to be from a mannequin. It can be from a pillow shifted sideways, a suitcase, a bunch of junk which could possibly have no spiritual meaning or connotation whatsoever.
Right. And therefore?
Therefore, go on.
Oh, okay. But I'm just, like I said, it's not, she was just trying to save her husband. She was trying to give a distance for the husband, which is, I said, I don't think there was any spiritual emanation going on with this the cherubim that were in the bed, but it's because it wouldn't make sense. But what happens is, yeah, it's 100%. It was a ruse. She was trying to protect her husband, so that's why the king. By the way, what is not being filled in is the following: Shaul sends malachim to guard. Okay, that's number one. Great. Now the next day he sends the people. And they knock on the door. Hello, yes, Michal comes to the door. What can I do for you? Well, your husband, your father wants David to come to the fell. I'm sorry, he's sick. Okay, come back tomorrow. She shuts the door on them, and they're like, okay. Remember, she is the princess.
Yeah,
you're not going to argue with the princess.
I'm surprised they didn't use a disguise like selling fuller brushes or something.
Okay, so then what happens is those people have to go back to Shaul and say, Shaul, your daughter, the princess, said that David, the general, is sick and he can't come to you. Oh yeah? Go back to my daughter and tell her and check him out. I want to see if he's sick. If he's really sick, okay, so bring him. Bring him either way. I'm going to kill him. But if he's not sick, no, I know he's rebelling. But you check it out. So what we're not hearing is that conversation.
I'm surprised he didn't require that they either bring back David or Michal.
Michal, he just wanted to kill his daughter.
Yeah, I know, but they're not even to kill, but just to...
No. You're not going to kill my daughter. The daughter he wants to kill David. So that's all he has to fight against. So, but that, you hear the conversation, we don't have the conversation. That's what I say. The Torah, the Tanakh is not going to give us every part of the conversation, but you have to fill in the blanks here. That he's sending people. What are you sending so many people for? And how do you communicating so quickly? So obviously they're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know what they do? Talk about the whole conversation in Megillus Esther, right? Megillus Esther, when Hatak is talking to, you have the whole conversation between Esther and Mordechai. They're not talking to each other, they're talking through an individual. And they have to say, and he told them this, told them that. He's going back and forth. Okay, but here we don't see that. Here we just say, David, what the orders are. So now what happens is, Vayavo HaMalachim. So the Malachim, the messengers came. V'nei terafim elamita. And behold, the terafim, these mannequins, whatever was in the bed, ukevir ha'izim rashatav, and they saw the goat's hair on its head. So they see right away that it's not David. Okay. And I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So then what happens is we'll pick it up. We're going to pick it up next week.
You're at the end of 16.
Yes. And the 16, and